I suppose it is still morning, okay? Good morning, everyone. My name is RJ Thompson. I'm an assistant professor of interactive design at Youngstown State University, and I am also in charge of the Youngstown Design Works program, which I will speak about momentarily. Before I get started, though, I want to introduce you to two particular resources. First off is my research blog, imrjthompson.com. I'd say either later today, if not tomorrow, definitely, all of the information that I'll talk about today will be available on this site. And if you're interested in some of the other things that I'm doing in app design, etc., you can check it out here. And the second link would be youngstowndesignworks.com, which provides even more supplemental information to what I will be discussing today. Third part, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, etc., hashtag UCDA, hashtag YDW, any and all media is appreciated, so don't feel obligated, however. Okay, pardon me one moment. This particular document is already available on my research blog if you're interested, although there are some updates that I made to it relative to the poster session last night. If any of you happen to have visited the poster session, I did have a poster on Youngstown Design Works with some updated information. So again, my information is down here. Feel free to contact me, call, text, email. I'm on the grid all the time. Otherwise, thank you for your interest. So, this is where we begin. Youngstown Design Works is a program of the Department of Art at YSU. It has been in operation for about a year. And the concept in and of itself isn't entirely original. It's basically a student-run graphic and interactive design agency. Many of our universities have those. I'm sure some of you have a similar program. The difference here is the economic development backbone behind this particular program. We work very, very closely with city government, business incubators, the Small Business Development Center, and a lot of nonprofits to generate the work that we do. So, the point of origin. We design good work for good people. In fall 2013, we started having a conversation about how do we start a full-on design agency in Youngstown, a city in revival, and keep it sustainable. After 6 months of discussion and planning and talking and proposals, you're all familiar with academia and how slow it can be, we finally launched our pilot program in the April of that year. And our first project was for the Salem Public Library. I can't show you their brand yet because they too move slowly and have not launched it. But the pilot was a success. From that initial project, we determined that there's a significant need in the community. And for those of you that may practice or teach in the rural areas, you know that there's a huge demand, or let's put it this way, businesses should want good design, but they don't necessarily know how to access it. And once they are able to access it, can they afford it? Well, typically not. And of course that's relative to the business. So we wanted to test this theory out a little bit. If we made ourselves available in public, would it become sustainable? Would they be willing to pay for good design work? So we embarked on our pop-up design shop concept in Warren, Ohio. Our partner for this particular event was the Warren Redevelopment and Planning Corporation. They are a sort of a subsidiary group to Warren City government. So they receive federal and local money to start businesses or sustain businesses, etc., etc. The pop-up shop basically entailed us inhabiting an old radio station for 1 week over the summer semester, and without air conditioning, mind you, so it was pretty hot, but the students were really great and excited. We were there for a week. We were able to receive a lot of TV broadcast support, radio, marketing, and the word of mouth was incredible. The marketing and coverage for this in the press was fantastic. Before we started, we were hoping to get 25 or so consultations. Now let me specify what a consultation is. That is me talking to you, or my students talking to you about your design project or your design needs. That does not necessarily mean you're hiring us for work or we're doing work for you gratis or pro bono. We were hoping to make $2,500, and I myself was hoping for 20% student participation. Relative to the attendance, 20% would have been like, I don't know, 5 or 10 people. What we actually got, we had 25 scheduled meetings before the pop-up even started. We had 42 total meetings scheduled by the end of the pop-up, so the business week. Only 4 scheduled meetings were no-shows. 25 projects were branding, logo design. 5 projects were websites. 2 projects were t-shirts, 2 trifold brochures, 1 infographic, 1 2-sided rack card, 1 flyer, 1 social media audit or assessment, 1 ad campaign. We had $10,300 in committed commissions by the end of the pop-up, and I'll clarify what that means in a moment. And 3 local entrepreneurs from Warren have expressed interest in renting the old radio station space that we were inhabiting. I don't know if they have since filled that space, but our partnership with Warren Redevelopment basically mandated that we help promote that space and try to fill the vacancy. Committed commissions. This does not necessarily mean the money's in the bank. What this really means is every one of you in here has agreed to work with us. All right? That's the initiation point. That's the most critical. What happens next is we begin the work. Well, the clients would support us with a down payment, half up front. Our hourly rate, by the way, is $50 an hour across the board for all services, be it print, web, app design, minimal app design, or branding. They set the budgets, they set the deadlines, and we work within both of those limitations to provide them with the highest possible quality work product. So by the end of that week, we had over 10K in committed commissions. The attitudes. Clients from Warren were excited to have access to our services. We completed the majority of the projects from Warren, but not all of them. For those of you that have practiced professionally, you know that not every project is gold, not every project is going to be a slam dunk or a win, and we experienced that in Warren as well. And I love the fact that happened because it was such a true, it wasn't even an emulation. It was true to life experience of what we go through professionally that my students got to experience firsthand. We learned a lot that people need to know exactly what we do and how we do it. We also learned that many of these same folks did not have any interest in knowing and just wanted the work done. Of course, we've all experienced that as well. That's the least favorable part of the job, but it comes with the territory. So I always stress to my students, they must educate their clients on what design is, much like I'm sure you folks do with your students as well. Just because a client owns or runs a business does not automatically mean they understand marketing. So we spend a lot of time up front prefacing what it is that we do. Not just design as a valuable resource for marketing a business, but the actual creative process. So in an effort to educate our prospective clients on what it is that we do and how we do it, we revise the construction of the meetings so that they have a better understanding. Most of the time this was successful, and most of the time this is like the best part. The clients wanted in. They wanted to be immersed in the creative process because they understood that, yeah, they're developing a work product, but they're having fun doing it, and I want to be involved in that. That's the best thing that you could ask for. Most of the time this was successful. So, duplicating the success of the pop-up. We've had time to review, adjust, make some other implementations in our programming. Let's take the best of what worked before and make it better. So the pop-ups got a lot of press. got a lot of great portfolio work for my students, generated a lot of money that is going towards technology, scholarships, work studies. We want to do it again. And if it's even better the second time, we want to do it again after that, and after that, and after that. So we teamed up with the Oakhill Collaborative, which is a small business startup business incubator, okay? And it's grassroots to the core. The gentleman that started this, I don't believe he received any grant funding or anything. He was just a retired fellow that wanted to be involved, and he built this thing, and that's Oakhill Collaborative. We had some issues with the pop-up. We wanted to sort of class the name up a bit and make it more appropriate to a pop-up, let's put it this way, it didn't have the strongest connotation to it, so we decided to rebrand the event as an in-house event. So the design students come in for a week, and they're the in-house designers for Oakhill Collaborative. So the event was called Oakhill Collaborative In-House. With this event, we didn't want to double or triple the numbers, be it in population or revenue. We wanted to create unique, memorable impressions that educated our clients. And through that education, created referral points that are still perpetuating themselves. Right? Many positive expectations with this event, based on what has occurred previously. But what happened next, we did not see coming. We had 54 meetings, roughly 6 to 10 walk-ins. There was 1 no-show. We had 27 logo projects, 6 WordPress-based websites, 3 trifold projects, 3 ad campaigns, 2 website assessments. Aside from the projects that we were being commissioned for, I was able to bring in our adjuncts. So the Intro to Graphic Design students got to participate and witness the client exchange, the interview. And that was eye-opening for them because, you know, Intro to Graphic Design, it's safe to assume that those students don't know a whole lot about design, especially on the professional side, so being able to witness that firsthand was eye-opening. We received even more television or printed press, economic development representatives from Congressman Tim Ryan's office visited us, and we've since established a relationship with them. Even from Senator Brown's office in Ohio joined us for the wrap-up post-party event. And the mayor of Youngstown, Mayor McNally himself, was present for the wrap-up party and had some wonderful things to say. So now we're impacting government, not just locally but regionally. And to get that type of attention has been incredible and terrifying. So bandwidth concerns. The Oakhill Collaborative experiences blew us away. We determined we had a very, very real program on our hands. The pop-up shops or the in-house events are working. All right, the formula is working. But enrollment, I think for many of us, is down. So my problem is I can't supply the demand. Okay. We have a backlog of work that we are still completing to this day. Some of the projects that we got from Oakhill Collaborative, which was last October, we're still doing. Students are volunteering their time to complete those projects. What's important is, despite the time it takes, they're staying the course. They're staying true, and they're finishing the projects, which says a lot about their work ethic and their professionalism. We hit critical mass. So, leveling out. We're past the halfway point of completion on all the work. Many of the clients from Oakhill didn't have any deadlines to speak of, which, thank God, because if this were a real, like, full-on deadline-based situation, we'd have a lot of people angry with us. Some became frustrated, though, with the delay and either put their project on hold because they wanted to work with us, because they recognized that there was equity in the public relations of working with this very visible entity. Others just, went their own separate way and decided to hire one of my students as a freelancer or an alumni, and that's totally fine. Our longest standing clients, though, stood with us. And it's that relationship building that has continued to prove itself beneficial. So, by the numbers, near the end of the first year, celebrates a healthy reputation, mission, and bottom line. I'm hoping that the model that we've set up with city, regional governments. Nonprofits can act as inspiration for you folks if, in fact, you're interested in setting up something similar to what we've done in Youngstown. Since April, we've raised close to that $10,000 mark. Again, those committed commissions, not all the money's in the bank yet. But everything is growing, participation is growing, student retention, quality of work, it's incredible. So where do we go from here? The future for Youngstown Design Works holds many opportunities. The pop-ups are on hold until this fall because this guy's having a baby and I can't run a pop-up and raise a child at the same time. I'm not even going to try it and my wife would kill me. So the pop-ups are on hold until the fall. We're probably going to hold one in September, early October, with a community development corporation called Caslo. And they're very, very interested in working with us. And more to the point, they're going to scout clients for us. So we don't have to worry about scheduling or walk-ins. They're going to find the best clients for us to work with. We developed an app concept called Route, which is intended to promote travel within Mahoning County and Youngstown. And we've been able to pitch that to the Youngstown Business Incubator. We've been able to pitch it to Mahoning County Tourism and the president of the university. And it's been really well received, and we're looking for fiscal support on that. And then myself, I'm taking the experiences from this event and building them into a 3-part lecture series held at the Youngstown Business Incubator for professionals. So a lot of the folks that are practicing designers in Youngstown, they're very insulated, and they want to be able to break out, expand outside themselves, network, learn new practices, and gain some of the, or learn from some of the experiences that we're having through these pop-ups. So that's going on right now. In fact, I think I have one, the last one, next week. So what's next? We've been commissioned to redesign the City of Youngstown website. On top of that, build an events-based website for travel and tourism. We can make apps now, low grade, minimal, nothing too difficult, but we can do it. And it's hard, but it's rewarding. And we're hoping, again, that this model can be replicated at other institutions of learning. And all of the money that we're generating will go towards student scholarships, technology, and employment. We want to be able to hire people. That's the basis behind economic development. Starting businesses, creating jobs, we want to have a stake in that. These are some of the logos that we have created. Additive manufacturing, 3D printing is blowing up in Youngstown, and it has been the spotlight of President Obama's highlights on additive manufacturing and the growth of this industry, so that's great. So we built this logo, Warren Trumbull Library, Caslo, even small businesses like Family Dentistries. The Yo Dance Project, Citizen Leaders. This was a pro bono project that we did for 2 alumni of Youngstown State University that just wanted to create a program where people could dance. Garden District, we're starting to rebrand neighborhoods. Downtown Wellness Community, this was a civic-minded program supported by the congressman and some of his folks. Big Cricket Farms. Alternative agriculture is huge in Youngstown. And Big Cricket Farms is just that, a cricket farm. But they sell crickets intended for human consumption as a protein replacement. They are blowing up. It's incredible how big they are. Our logo's been seen on National Geographic, CNN, all types of places. It's incredible. And finally, this is just a few little anecdotes from some of my students that participated in the pop-ups. The first is from Jared. I feel like a renewed person since the design pop-up we did, to be honest. I don't know how to explain it, but know that I feel that way. That's probably the highest compliment I can get as their instructor. Alexandra Maria, whom actually got an interactive design job, that spun out of these particular events, says, "It was the last day of the Youngstown Design Works pop-up today in Warren. Honestly, the best experience I've had thus far at Youngstown State University. It was a successful event and tons of fun working with fellow designers. Hope to see more things like this in the future. So glad I was able to be a part of it before I graduate. Thanks so much. And that's it. Any questions?